Right. Again, welcome everyone to our Ohio Virtual Academy meet and greet. Um, Today I have some panelists from OHVA that will be speaking to you all, and feel free to uh, put your name and the part of the state that you're coming from in the chat box. We will be having a Q&A session later on in the webinar, and we'll direct you where to put those questions at that time. But I do want to take care of some housekeeping rules. We won't be able to talk about specific status updates during the webinar because we want to give an overview of the school, the roles that we have available, and get all of that information to you. If you do have a specific question, please send that to recruiting@K12, and we will put you with our recruiter. And actually, our recruiter for OHVA is on today, so you'll be hearing from her as well. Again, like I said earlier, we will be having a question and answer portion, and we will direct you where to put those questions at that time. And we are also recording this, so you'll be able to review it later on. Our speakers for today, I'm going to let them hop on the microphone to give their name and their title, and then we will give a brief overview of Stride. So I'll start with you, Kyle.
All right, thank you, Andrea. So, welcome everybody, and thank you for spending a few minutes with us this afternoon. My name is Kyle Wilkinson. I am the Director of Academics at OHVA. I've been with OHVA Stride K-12 for 12 years, the teacher, principal, and then the Director of Academics. So we're looking forward to talking with you today.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Debbie Watring. I am the K2 principal. I have been with OHVA since 2002 when we first started, and I have been a teacher, a parent, and the principal of K2 since 2011, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrew Smirkanich. I am the 11th grade principal with Ohio Virtual Academy. We do have 4 principals at the high school level. Each have about 1,300 students under us, and we also work with different departments. So I work with the social studies and English department specifically, but do have familiarity with everything that happens throughout our high school. I've been with OHVA for about 12 years now as a social studies teacher, and then in this role as a principal. It's nice to be with you.
Hello, everyone. I am Chaika Hale. I'm your academic recruiter, and I've been with Stride K-12 for 5 years. When I first joined, I worked with Andrea doing webinars like this, and now I'm a full-time recruiter for OHVA.
Hi, my name is Carol Arman, and I am the Human Resource Business Partner for OHVA, and I've been with the company for about 3 years, and I am located in Toledo, Ohio.
Great, thank you all. Before we have them talk a little bit more about Stride, I'm going to just give you a brief overview of who Stride is, just in case you've never heard of us before. We've changed our name. We were currently K-12, but that is now another umbrella with under Stride. But we've been around for about 20 years now, and since we've switched over to Stride, we've accumulated some other companies, which is Tech Elevator, Hack Reactor, and Galvanize. The reason we've moved from just K-12 because we believe that learning doesn't just end after you finish high school. We've provided other programs so that you can, for college students to be able to go into either the healthcare field or if they're interested in more technical jobs. So we've had those portfolio companies where there are coding boot camps and things like that. So we've moved over from K-12, and now our name is Stride. If you go onto our website, you will see K-12 for our schools, and we are in over 30, I believe over 30 different states that we have schools available. Today we're highlighting one of our schools, which is in Ohio Virtual Academy. So you'll be hearing more about this particular school today. So I'm going to give the mic over to Kyle, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about OHVA, and then you'll hear from Debbie and Andrew as well as they tell you about the high school side as well as the middle school and elementary.
All right, thank you. So just a brief overview for any of you that are not familiar with Ohio Virtual Academy. We are a school that is kindergarten through 12th grade, and we're a rather large school in the state of Ohio. We hover anywhere around 17 to 18,000 students given the year. The pandemic increased our enrollment a little bit, and that starts to fluctuate and go up and down as we go through the school year. Interestingly enough, we are celebrating our 20th year anniversary since OHVA has been in existence, doing online education. So we're excited. We've had a lot of things that we've done with our students and staff this year for that 20th year celebration. We do have a very large high school program. You heard Andrew say we have multiple principals that oversee the grade levels. We have a large administrative team that oversee those 17,000 students and over 450 teachers and intervention specialists. And then if you add in support staff, we're even larger than that. I think currently we're at about 750 staff that serve OHVA directly. When you bring in advisors, school counselors, speech therapists, and those sorts of positions as well. We do have a very low turnover rate for our teachers. We're always looking for high quality staff for our school to serve our students and families, but we're right around the 5 to 8% in turnover every year, which is really good for an online school and, as the state would call them, a community school. We also are categorized as a public school, and so that means that we are free for any student and family that choose to come to OHVA. There's no cost or tuition for that education. So we do have a very strong school counseling program. We highlight that. Last year, we were able to get our RAMP designation for our counseling program, which is a national recognition. Sorry, can't even talk what that one is. But we sent some of our counselors out to receive that award. They worked for multiple years on a comprehensive school counseling program, so we've added to that every year. We believe not just the academic side, but serving our students and families in all types of different ways. We call that the wraparound services, whether that's from the mental health side, the school counseling side, the looking for outside programs to partner with as well. And then I'll let Carol and Shai talk more about the benefits package, but it is competitive. It comes with everything that you would need as far as insurance, pays into STRS for our teachers, dental, and all of those things that they can give you some specifics on. But more importantly, I want you to hear from a couple of our administrators, our principals, so that they can kind of give you an idea of what the day in the life of a teacher looks like within OHVA. So I'm going to turn it over to Debbie, and she can talk a little bit to that.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. So I am the K2 principal. We do have two principals, K2 and 3-5 principal, and then we do have two assistant principals at each grade band. And at each grade band, we do have anywhere from 3,000 to 3,500 students in those grade bands. But we have a lot of similarities and then differences within those grade bands. Stride provides our students, each student, with a laptop, our curriculum. And I think the big thing that differentiates us from other online schools is our curriculum. It is a Stride curriculum. And so they send out not only our online version of the curriculum, but lots of books, lots of manipulatives to our students. And at the K2 level specifically, it's really important for students to have those books and those manipulatives to be able to work at home. And not only working at home, but every one of our students signs up with a learning coach, a grown-up in the home, especially at the elementary level. That's really important that there is an adult working with the student. Of course, you can't have a 5, 6, 7-year-old independently working at home and not being directed by somebody. So we're very dependent on the learning coach working at home. The online school directs the adult in the home or the student as they become fluent readers or get into middle school, high school, directs them into, well, there's a different platform, I apologize, for middle school, high school, but the online school for our K5 learners to know exactly what needs to be done on a daily basis, and it walks them right through what lessons need to be done. But for our teachers are teaching 3 to 4 lessons daily, and it looks a little bit different based on grade band K2 or 3-5. At K2, we are very focused on reading and teaching reading, building strong readers, and then our 3-5 teachers, of course, we're always K through 5 focusing on the state standards. Our Stride curriculum is a nationally based curriculum. And then our teachers focus more so on the state standards, but K2 is definitely highly focused on teaching reading. I find that when our parents are at home, the biggest thing that they struggle with is teaching reading. So we really help to support that within our classrooms. And then our 3-5 teachers, they are teaching more so the state standards and the content that our students will be seeing on the state tests that they are taking this week and next week at test sites. But our teachers are teaching 3 to 4 hours daily, 3 to 4 classes daily. All of our students are taking assessments as they enroll with us. And then we are also benchmarking them throughout the school year to make sure that they are growing and mastering the assessments and the content that we're giving to them. And so the instruction is very fluid. We're moving them into different leveled groups. And because we have, 3 to 4 different instructional levels, we're able to place students into ability level grouping probably more easily than what your brick and mortar instructors or teachers are able to do. So it works very seamlessly. I just was speaking with our head of school earlier today via email about a student who was a kindergartner and able to be placed in a first grade classroom. It works very seamlessly for us, for teachers to be able to have leveled instruction at the virtual, in a virtual world. So we follow all ODE requirements and with RIMPs and assessments and all of the things that we would need to do, whether you're in, that you would be doing in a brick and mortar environment. So that's about it. So I'll hand it over to Andrew.
Thanks, Debbie. And so, Debbie, you covered a lot of great stuff there, especially from the student side as well. And a lot of the things that high school students see are similar to what our younger kids see with having that learning coach there and helping. But certainly, as they get older, we expect more independence from them. And so, as far as a teacher day goes, our high school, middle school is going to look a little bit more like a typical high school or middle school that you experience in a brick and mortar building, where the students are moving from class to class. They're responsible for their homework. They're responsible for getting on, interacting with the teacher on a daily basis. So a high school teacher is going to spend, I would say, somewhere between 60% to 75% of their time interacting with students directly during a day. So that's going to be normally a couple hours of direct teaching, also some small group individual help sessions, and then also contacting students and connecting with them directly and through, we now use Zoom, so there's options to text, call students, email students, and so there's a lot of great options out there. But the big thing that's different maybe from what you'd experience in a brick and mortar is that our day is split a little bit in between. Our core courses typically have their live classes in the morning, and then our elective classes have most of their items during the afternoon. So it's a little bit different having a larger group of students, but you do as a teacher still interact with small groups of students based on your schedule and the data that's needed and that you're finding about students and bringing them in to make sure that you're supporting them in the ways that's necessary. The rest of your day is going to be normally spent grading, developing your live class curriculum, and then also looking at data and checking to see what students need help and informing what you're doing with those students on a daily basis. So that's really what the high school, middle school teachers spend a lot of a lot of their day doing, again, 60 to 75% of the time interacting with students directly. The rest of the time is in that data and development area of your time. So that's high school, middle school. I'll turn it back over to Andrea to continue our session.
Thank you so much, Debbie and Andrew. I'm going to move to Chai and Carol. I'll first have Chai just to talk a little bit more about the hiring process, and then if Carol, can you just talk about the benefits package that you would receive if you were to join OHVA?
Okay.
So our hiring practice, first of all, we ask that you apply to our positions that you can find on the Stride career page. You can search by state for keyword searches or by your subject area. And so once you apply, we review your application. I highly encourage you to attach a copy of your Ohio licensure. That will help expedite your application. Otherwise, it takes us time to go back and have to look you up. And also your resume, of course. Once we review, you may be invited to complete the first step of our interview process, which is a digital interview in HireVue. There are 7 questions, and then the last one is a video demonstration that you would complete on YouTube. You, of course, will receive directions on how to do all of that. Then the hiring managers take a look at your digital interview, and if they choose to move you forward, they will message you directly to set up a Zoom one-on-one. And then from there, hopefully we send out our offer, which you can review along with the benefit package. And that's our hiring process.
All right, and then I just want to touch on benefits briefly. For our benefit package, we are, for our medical insurance, we're with United Healthcare, and we have 2 different plan design options for medical. And then for our vision, we're with United Healthcare as well. For our dental insurance, we have Delta Dental of Ohio. And then for our life insurance and short-term disability insurance, those are 100% paid for by the company. For the life insurance, it's $25,000. And for short-term disability, they cover you at 66% of your salary if you're unable to work for a period of time. We also do offer long-term disability insurance, and we have an employee assistance program as well that is free for all employees.
Thank you so much, Chai and Carol. So I'm going to put up just some of the jobs that we have highlighted with Ohio. This isn't the full list. We have a lot more, so I don't want you to look at this and think, oh, well, I may not be able to apply to these, but we do have other roles that are available. Again, Chai was giving us the explanation on how to search for jobs. We put the link here, and we'll also put it in the chat box. You can go into our website, which is www.stridelearning.com/careers. And as she stated, you can search by state and the job title to look at the full list of our roles. I just wanted to give some of our highlighted jobs. I'll also come back to this slide, but I did want to open up the floor for any questions. If you have questions, you can put them in our QA box. There's a bar either at the bottom of your screen or the top, and it says QA, so feel free to put in questions there, and we will have our administrators to answer those for you, or if you have questions for a Chai or Carol, they can answer those as well. I did want to ask either for Kyle, or I'll ask Kyle. I know we get a lot of questions asking about the school year. So what is a typical length of time? Is it year round, or when do you typically start and go into your summer months as far as the year?
Great question. At OHVA, we follow a pretty traditional school calendar for our students and families and staff for the most part. We do start school usually around the third week of August, and we wrap up, depending on the year, end of May or first week of June. We do allow, and provide all the normal holiday time off that a school district would, and we try to match that up as close as we can to a lot of the districts in Ohio when possible. So we also, the contracts for OHVA teachers begin on August 1st and then run through June 30th, I believe, is the last date. The school year for staff, usually we do have our staff start coming back on August 1st, although that varies a little bit year to year as well. And it's a pretty slow ramp up, but we also need some training time for new staff before the school year kicks off. And then they are done. I believe teachers' last day is usually around the 15th of June, sometimes a little earlier, depending on how closing out the year goes.
I did see someone asking about for elementary teachers, are elementary teachers all subjects, or are they subject specific?
So our elementary teachers are all K-5. So 3-5, they do focus, and they have a homeroom, but 3-5, as far as instruction goes, online instruction, our 3-5 teachers do have a focus of whether they're teaching math or the ELA, but they do have a homeroom for all of the students. And then at K2, again, we focus primarily on reading instruction, but again, they have a homeroom. And our learning coaches are picking up a lot of all of those subjects. We really don't focus on the art and the music, history and science, although K-12 provides all of our learning coaches all of the curriculum to the learning coaches to cover all of those. So I would say that, they do provide a lot of support to the learning coaches for all of the curriculum. But as far as instructional content, it's ELA and math.
I had another person ask, are your general ed 3 through 5 positions content-based or self-contained?
That would probably be asking the same question. For 3-5, again, as far as the online delivery of instruction, they are broken up where they share and team teach, and one teacher would be focused on ELA and one teacher would be focused on math, but they would have a homeroom that they would be covering.
Great. I did see someone ask that they were asking if some of the jobs they saw for immediate openings and when we would be looking for 2022 and 2023. I just wanted to stay over the microphone. We are looking for applicants for the 2022 and 2023 school year. So please note that that it's on our website as well. So you would search for those. I just wanted to make sure that was just in case they didn't see it in the QA. Let's see. Another. Carol, could you talk a little more about the leave that is given for teachers? I saw that you answered it, but just so those that may not see the question.
Yes.
In the QA.
So there was a question about sick time and personal leave and what that looked like for the school. We do accrue sick time, so everyone starts with a 0 balance, but then each paycheck you accrue 5 hours per paycheck. And then you can accrue up to 360 hours. And then if you top out, it stops accruing. And for our personal days, you get 3 days per school year to use for personal time. And that time is in addition to the breaks and stuff that they were talking about.
Now, I did have someone ask about, they were finishing their licensure and they're asking, should I wait to apply until I have my license? And just to let those know that if there are others, you're welcome to apply and just let, let Chai, because she is our recruiter, if you're working with her, just let her know when you anticipate to receive that licensure and they'll be able to work with you for that time frame. Great. Any other questions? Oh, I did see someone in the actual chat box. They were asking about what is the average caseload for SPED teachers?
Yeah, I can answer that one. I was just typing. So Monique, we follow the state required caseload ratios for intervention specialists. So you're looking at, and Andrew, Debbie, help me, 24-1 at high school, I believe is correct, 17-1 at the other grade levels is what we're at. And, you know, we, depending on some of the students that are in significantly modified curriculums that we have, we try to go lower with some self-imposed ratios with those as well.
Okay. And I guess either Carol, you mentioned this. Someone was asking about, do you have a step pay scale or a traditional, do you have a step pay scale as a traditional school does? If you just wanted to comment that on as well.
Yeah. We start all of our regular instruction teachers at $40,000 per year. And for our special education intervention specialist teacher, they start at $42,000 per year. And everyone is eligible for bonuses twice a year. One small bonus in December, and then the rest of the bonus at the end of the school year. And then increases are annually.
You. Someone asks, is the hiring pay the same for having a bachelor's and master's for intervention specialist?
Yep, I'll speak to that for a second. So yeah, what you heard Carol say is where we look to start everybody at. You know, we will in the interview process, you know, take into consideration some other, you know, things that are going on within that and some of the ranges that we can do. However, you know, we do not follow, like Carol said, a traditional pay scale that you would see at a collectively bargained brick and mortar public school district. We do offer some different things that, you know, can make up for that a little bit. You heard about the bonus and some of the other flexibility that we provide with being online in a work from home environment. So there are some other benefits to that and some ways to offset some of that salary as well.
Okay, I'll ask this to the panel as well. For those that this may be their first time being a virtual teacher, what would be some of your, I guess, advice, or you can also give like what that looks like as far as the training for them when they start as a virtual teacher?
So I can speak to that. I believe, and as a school, we provide a lot of PD. Every Friday, we block off a lot of time. Every Friday morning at 9, we have an all-school PD. We have team meetings happening weekly at every grade band. And we have our first day for every new hire is a full day of professional development. But I believe that it really takes a full year to acclimate someone into a virtual world. And I believe at every grade level, grade band, we are providing ongoing professional development and have mentor teachers. Every teacher is assigned to a mentor teacher. We have lead teachers that are mentoring new teachers. And so we provide a lot of mentoring and a lot of professional development, far more than you would ever see at a traditional brick and mortar school. And I believe that is really attributed to our retention rate of teachers. I believe it's up there in the 98 percentile of teachers coming back year after year. So we do provide a lot of professional development for, especially for our new teachers.
And just to add on that, as far as maybe expectations, like you said, Andrea, of when you start and kind of how that first year goes, there's a learning curve, and that's the truth. That it's a tough job to start. It's a different environment. It's different teaching kids online. You feel a little bit of disconnection to start, especially if you've been in the brick and mortar building, but as time goes along, I believe a lot of our teachers find they connect deeper with their students, that they have more meaningful conversations, and they are able to directly come into contact with them and their families in ways that they weren't able to do in a brick and mortar building. So in the end, I believe a lot of teachers find it very rewarding being a part of our online environment. But that first year, the first 6 months, there's a big learning curve and a lot of things to learn, a lot of systems to learn. Even if you're a tech savvy person, there's a lot to learn.
Thank you, Andrew. I know we typically, from meet and greets that I've moderated, that's typically one of the big questions. So I think hearing that reassurance of that support, I think that makes it a little bit easier to kind of make that step, whether they are going from brick and mortar to virtual or just starting virtual as their first teaching experience, because that's can be some cases for some people as well. To piggyback on what Debbie said as far as the retention and things like that, I actually worked in our headquarters, but I've traveled to Ohio multiple times and I've worked with them for different hiring events and things like that. And I will definitely accredit they have a very tight knit work family or work environment, and you definitely can feel that just from being working with them at their school and just how they treat one another. So I definitely would say to those that are interested in looking for a position in Ohio with OHVA, that you're definitely coming onto a team that definitely gives a lot of support. And just as she said, with the retention, that speaks volumes of how they treat their fellow coworkers in their different departments, whether that be in elementary or middle school and high school. Any other questions?
Andrea, can I jump in and answer a few more here? So
Yeah.
I saw there was a couple of questions on the just ratio of general teaching in a classroom. And so at the K-5 level, the ratios would be a 60-to-1. And then at the middle school, high school, you're looking at between a 180 to 200-to-1, depending on the area. But also it's very, that is on your caseload. So if you think of that at the high school, middle school level, it's very rare that you would have all of those students at once, but you would possibly teach multiple times a day, like you would have different classrooms coming in. So that's how many students you might have on your caseload, but having them all at once is not necessarily the case. So wanted to answer that. And then I saw the question about policy as far as enrolling new students throughout the year. We do have a rolling enrollment, depending on the time of year as well. The first semester will usually enroll for the middle school and high school through the end of October, and then K-5 will continue enrolling all the way through December. Then we take a pause for second semester, and then we usually enroll for the first 3 weeks of second semester, so usually end of January. In the past few years, we have actually had to shut down our enrollment or push people to the next school year or semester just because we've reached capacity. We've also had some, just like every other school district, we've had some trouble hiring and finding teachers that want to come in. So when we can't support those students with the staff, we will always close enrollment so that we can serve the students we have and try not to overload anybody.
Right. Let me see. I I was going to answer this one over the mic. Someone had asked about how does the in-person PD work? Are there different locations to pick to travel to, or are they at one location? And if travel is required to the main office in Maumee, we do reimburse travel-related expenses. So just so you know, that is available to you.
Yep, that's a great question too. I don't know that we touched on that. While we're work from home and home office based and virtual, we do have some expectation in normal years that our staff travel a little bit. We do state testing a little bit differently. We have to use locations around the state, and so we staff our teachers and the rest of the staff at those locations during testing times. So that's a few times that you would be out of your office. We encourage our staff to attend any face-to-face outings that we have for our families across the state so that you can engage with those students and families and meet them live. We've started going back to that and having more and more of those events. We also do have a couple of professional developments a year. Some of them are all staff. Some of them might be grade band specific, where we'll meet at centralized locations, whether that's Columbus. We've used Kalahari and Sandusky before for our all staff. But whenever that travel does occur, we give advance notice, and yes, you are reimbursed for most of the costs that are incurred with that traveling.
Oh, someone asked, are any PDs overnight?
Yeah. So we have a policy where if you lived a certain mileage away from the location we're asking you to come to, you could be eligible for a reimbursement of a hotel cost if necessary. You're not required to. But then when we do have once a year, our all staff PD, which was on pause for the past couple of years here, but we're re-upping it here in June. We have that at Kalahari, and we make it a 2-day event. So there is an overnight stay. People are always welcome to drive, but we do pay for that overnight stay for that PD one time a year.
Awesome. Carol, I saw you were answering the STIRS question, if you wanted to answer that.
Yeah, I meant to type in, I was just typing in the answer. I didn't know I clicked to answer live, but the question was about rehires who retire from STIRS coming back to getting back into the teaching. I'm not aware of any restrictions we would have, but I can't really answer that for sure. That would be something I'd have to look into because we haven't had that situation.
Don't see any other new questions. So before we wrap up, if any of our panelists have any final thoughts that they would like to give to our potential applicants, feel free to jump on the mic.
All right, fine, I'll do it. I'll give one last. Andrew is laughing at me here. So, well, we just want everybody to know, I think that, you can sit here, you can hear all the details and stuff, but, what you want to know is it a good place to work? Is it somewhere where I'm respected and can do what I love to do, and that's serve students? And I think that OHVA has a unique culture where our staff enjoys being here. We all, while we have ups and downs and challenges, we certainly all come from the same place, that our goal is to serve our students and help them have a fantastic experience and grow academically at OHVA, and that's our main goal. And I think that a lot of us have some longevity here, and we like to bring new people into the fold, but we're looking for exceptional people that want to have that same goal of moving students forward, serving them in every capacity possible, and working for that common good and helping those students become ready and to grow and to help remove some of those barriers that are sometimes non-academic, right? So I think as administrators, we work really hard to value our teachers, value our staff. We know it's tough times in education. At the same time, we need good people. And so if any of you feel that's something that you're interested in, we'd love to talk with you more. And we really appreciate you guys coming and spending a few minutes with us today.
Thanks, Kyle. And just so you know, we did put the link to join our talent community so you can stay connected to us if there's any interview days or hot jobs that we post throughout the week or weekly on highlighted jobs. Feel free to click that link and put in your information so you can stay connected to us. Again, this event was recorded, so you'll be able to refer back to this. We'll send this out later this week. And again, any other questions that you may have, you can send an email to talentteam@k12.com. We're on all social media platforms, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Follow us at Careers at Stride, and you can see some of the cool things that go on. I know we're not in the office, but we may try to see other events on how other people work remotely since we are all working from home. But I want to thank everyone for attending our meet and greet today. Again, my name is Andrea Wilson, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.